also have some objects from my desk I'd like to share with you as well. I have this little, it's kind of like a Rubik's Cube. Like a Rubik's Cube. This side here is entirely blue. Oops, sorry, I kissed the microphone. This side is entirely blue. You can see the blue color. This side is mostly red. It's mostly red. And this side is mostly green. And this side is mostly yellow. Excuse me, mostly yellow. When I twist it, it makes a clinging sound, like a little clicking sound. It's almost like it's spring-loaded, like you can hear some kind of spring inside. It's like there's a little spring inside. I haven't been able to solve it yet. It's very confusing. There's all these colors. There's like reds and greens and blues and yellows. And they're all mixed about. They're all mixed about. It's very confusing. There's colors everywhere. If I twist the colors, they go out of order even more. So my side is all blue. If I twist it, now it's like half blue. The other half of my blue went to a different side where there's green, a little bit of red. There's some green, a little bit of red. How do I get it back? Do you know how I can get this one back? How I can turn it? The shape seems to be lost. How do I get this side to be all blue again like it was before? Do you remember what it looked like when it was all blue? The sides have green and red. Yellow and red on this side. Yellow and red on this side. I'll share a couple other things with you too as well for objects. We'll get to those in a second. I want to go through the encouragement. It's a serious topic tonight. It's a very serious topic tonight. I want to share it with you. We'll go ahead and get started. We'll get started with the letter. So, this is from April of 2018. So, a few years ago. April of 2018. In March, my father-in-law went home to be with the Lord. This was unexpected and a surprise. When something we think is bad or painful happens, it's easy to ask where God is or why He allowed it to happen. However, we knew that the Lord was with us. Let me go into a lot more information about how we know that. Let me go into a little more information, a little bit more detail. So, the Bible teaches us in 2 Corinthians 1 that God is the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all of our troubles, so that we can comfort those with the comfort that we receive from God. So the day before my father-in-law passed away, my mom called. My mom called and said that the Lord put me on her heart, that she was praying for me. And she said, I just want you to know you are loved. An hour or two later, a friend of mine, I believe, had moved back east. Hadn't been around for a while. Haven't seen him for a while. Just an hour or two after my mom sent me that message, he sent me a text message and said, that he felt led to pray for me and asked how everything was going. that they're both praying for me and that God put me on their hearts. So it's kind of scary. Yeah, I was scared a little bit because I didn't know what was gonna happen. I knew something was gonna happen, but I didn't know what it was. I just knew that the Lord was getting me ready. God was already comforting me, so that I knew that no matter what was going to happen, that people were already praying for me, and I knew that I was loved. So while I was shocked by my father-in-law's passing, God was not surprised. I was sad knowing I would never be able to be with my father-in-law again, but I was comforted knowing that God was already with us. When I was working on what to say to the family at the memorial service, at the celebration of life service, we knew that he was with the Lord. He knew the Lord, so we'll see him again. We can celebrate that. We don't have to be sad. We can be sad because we miss him, but we'll see him again because he knew the Lord. The celebration of life service. Celebration of life service. When I was working on what to say to the family at the memorial service, I searched for all the emails I had received from my father-in-law, and I found the very first one that he sent to me. The subject line was condolences. It said, Mike. My name is Michael. Michael. Sometimes I go by Mike. Sometimes I go by Mike. Some people call me Mike. Mike, please know that our family offer our sincere condolences at this time of loss in your family. You are all in our thoughts and prayers. If there is anything we can do to comfort you and yours at this time, please don't hesitate to ask. Signed, my father-in-law. So here I am, looking for what I can say to comfort the family in our time of loss. And the Lord who raises the dead and who loves us, who raises the dead and who loves us, had provided this note from 2012, 6 years earlier, from my father-in-law, and allowed me to find it now to provide comfort, as though God was speaking through my father-in-law himself to encourage us today and to remind us that he is with the Lord. So we pray that the Lord encourages you and blesses you as you remember those in your life who are and who have been examples of God's love and comfort. We pray that God bless you as you remember those in your life who are and who have been an example of God's love and comfort in your life. she loved the Lord, and she had a plant. She had a green thumb, lots of plants. She had a Christmas cactus. I was at least 40 years old or so, I think, when I went to get it. There's something that was living that I could keep as a reminder of my grandmother. And, they typically bloom on like Christmas and Easter and stuff, but this one blooms on my birthday in late January. And it's just neat to be like, it's so special because it's the plant that I got to remind me of my grandmother who loved me very much, and I love the Lord. And then having it bloom on my birthday is so special. It's like God just reminding me that she's with him. It's so neat. There's another story like this too. She had this parrot in her house. This is all after she passed away. She had this parrot. It was a robotic one. They had these 20, 30 years ago. And it had batteries. So you talk to the parrot. You say, "Hey, what's up?" And he goes, "What's up? What's up?" And repeats it back twice. And says what you said. So I said something. I'm like, I said something to it. And I was like, so I said something to the parrot. And it repeated back twice. And there was someone else I was with at my grandmother's house, and they jokingly said, "Drop dead," to this thing, expecting, the parrot to say that back. It didn't. It didn't say it back. Everything else we said to it, it repeated. But when someone's like, "Drop dead," like, as a joke, it just didn't. It's weird, right? It's like, it's almost like something else is going on. So yeah, you got this parrot that doesn't repeat these bad things, isn't sophisticated enough to know what not to say. You've got this plant that blooms on my birthday. You've got this letter that is a comfort from someone I'm looking for, how to comfort for their loss to the family, comforting me to share with them. There's so many things, and that's why it's really encouraging to share a journal. To write these things down. One of them, like, oh, that's interesting. Two of them, oh, what could be coincidence? You got a whole bucket list of these, a whole list of these things. And you're like, wow, that's really neat. It's really neat. And then you see a pattern over time of these kind of things, and you're like, wow, God really has like a real sensitive side where things that just really touch you and touch your heart, you can just treasure, We read about that in the Bible when you talk about, like, when Jesus was growing up. You have Mary, when she has, was it Simeon, the person in the church, the synagogue or the temple, when Jesus was being dedicated, that said, I can pass now because my eyes have seen the salvation of the Lord. And then Elizabeth, I think. Was it Elizabeth? No, there was a woman there that prophesied over Jesus and gave thanks for him. And then there were some other praises and things that happened that people were talking about what Jesus was going to do and have. And these are things that Mary treasured in her heart. These are little things that Mary treasured in her heart. And we can have little things that we treasure in our heart too. So thank you for listening to the letter of encouragement. I'm going to try for something else here. Something else that we have. This one is Scotch tape. just want you to know